Al Green for the Gay Pixie Radio, the only nuclear-powered radio station on God, Green Earth. We got two Smokies, we got a ladder, and an ambulance. So let us pursue. Now, the Coronado Clarion, our magazine, which covers 125 years of our history, is in its 14th year. And we've recorded everything from soup to nuts about Coronado, about Coronado people, about the events, about the history, the wonderful history. And tonight it just looks like a mundane call, but 2 units, an ambulance, and a ladder, in case they had to wash in windows. And we're all going down to this unit, which we do not want to intrude, but inquiring minds want to know. Now this is a complex. I know the fellow who built this. In fact, the building on it was like a 2-story, old-fashioned thing, and he wanted to donate it to the city. He wanted to put it over there where the police station now is, but they said no, thank you. But anyway, it was like this, but they built this like 3 times as big and modern, but it was a Spanish building just like this. Hello, there you go, a conquistador. Now, I wonder what troubles these people. God help them. I hope they say the right thing and do the right thing. If anyone's hurt, I pray for them to get better. Domestic violence in this country is out of control. Predators, parasites, pimps, murderers. I read today, almost too unconscionable to talk about, because it breaks my heart. They arrested 7 adult men for gang raping two-year-olds and making a video of it and putting it on some perverse channel. Now that's how much Babylon has descended upon America. There's so much, what shall I say, depredation and wickedness that goes on. And don't worry about the guy whistling through town who does you damage. It's within us. It can be the dentist, the cop, the lawyer, the doctor, the minister, the construction worker, the social worker. It is human. It is not by race, by creed, by age. It is abuse upon abuse. Those who are abused, abuse. Unless you break the cycle and become aware or cognizant of your behavior, it will ensue and repeat, unfortunately. But today, I thought I heard it all. But when I heard about those, finally, I think they arrested them. God help them when they get to jail. God help them. Even if they don't feel anything inside, they'll be hell to pay. Child molesters do not get off easily in any situation, because it's the child, it's your cousin, it's your nephew, your niece that was abused by these heartless bastards. But we don't see a lot of it in Coronado, but believe me, it goes on at every level. And so, for example, when you become a victim of a cop who has been, seeing all this shit and focusing only through that lens. So whenever he goes on a call, like if this is a domestic violence, I don't know if it was, but if it is, they better be on their guard. And it's like, because there's so many medicated and disturbed people that the cop has no idea what they're walking into. So you do that long enough and you get kind of like, you don't like people who abuse, and you're on your guard, and you're like, but you're also, if you're a street cop, your life is greatly endangered by a simple domestic violence call. So it is understandable that after a while, this effect was, and the cop either takes it home, internalizes it, or externalizes it on his public. Every call he goes to, he doesn't like it, he doesn't like them. Fortunately, in Coronado, we've got a new breed of cop that's cool, young. I watch them all. They just don't take it home. They've got some kind of new training or something. The old guys, oh my God, they wear it like a bloody rag. Wears them down, quite understandably, but get off the force. Go away. If you don't like it, go away. If you don't like the job, go away. People are hard to deal with. I know personally about all of this. I've been in the midst of this whole phenomenon called domestic violence, which is increasing in this country. It's metastasizing. And so, at every turn, there's unhappiness. So, I try to do the things that make me happy, and the people I know, I like to navigate them away from an awful terrain that they may occupy into a better place. And so, tonight I'm reaching out to anyone at all, anywhere in the world. I'm going to give you my number, 619-415-2967. Be it Coronado, Mexico, I don't care where it is, we'll translate. If you're struggling with the issue of domestic violence, where you are abusing someone or someone is abusing you, the only way out of it is to get down and dirty with it. Confront it at every level. Why? How? Is it a game? Is it some way to get attention? Is it just something that you were beat up, that you're beating someone else up, or they're beating you up? Whatever it is, the only way out of it is to talk about it, to tell someone, not to keep it hidden, not to keep your life in terror. Is to talk it out, get it out, and make a change. There's an intelligence operation called OODA. OODA Loops was developed by a Air Force officer after the war, and OODA means this. The letters OODA, first letter O, observe. Second letter O, orient. Third letter D, decide. And the fourth letter A, act. Now that means in an operation, a military operation, you will observe who were what. Then you will orient yourself in what it is happening. Then you will decide what you're going to do, and rapidly you will act. Because that's the best time. If you have high intelligence, you will read the room, you will read the situation, and you will decide what is best. Now, OODA Loops, look it up. It's not that intricate, but it's the same situation with domestic violence. Try to look outside of yourself and begin orienting myself. What is this? Who's doing what to whom? After a while, after the study, you've observed it, you've oriented yourself objectively from a dispassionate point of view, and you said, okay, I've decided that I'm going to do ABC about this, and I'm going to do it now. I'm not going to wait. So we can see two lady coppers who have been sent up there to observe and report and come back. Now, normally I would ask them a question, but, you know, it's domestic violence, you don't want to get too close. But a couple of lady coppers I know are very nice, really very nice to me. they know I'm a little bit, out there. And but there are a couple there I do not trust. I'm telling you, they're dangerous. The hot doggers, what shall I say, not very objective. They've got a terrible attitude toward men. Maybe they were abused too, and that's why they're. But at the hands of them, you better not be making a single mistake. These two are very nice. I don't know, maybe, yeah, that one is nice too, but some of them come up on the scene of domestic violence, they immediately hate the guy. It's just natural. Your proclivities, your leanings are just on your sleeve. If you've been abused by a guy, you're going to abuse. There you are. You've been abused by a guy, you're a lady cop, you're going to be very cautious and you're going to judge for the woman. It's just the natural way. If the woman cries, the guy's going to jail, one way or the other. Now that's the new rule, by the way, of domestic violence. Somebody has to leave the house. If there's any sign of violence and it's disputable, one of the persons has to go. Not only do they have to go, but they have to go to jail, they have to go to rehab or somewhere. Not just get out of the house and move out for tonight, the old school. This is the new level of political oversight that it has become so bad that the government, the state of California, has decided strict A, B, C, baby. There's no dispute here. We're not going to allow it to happen again, so somebody's going to leave. And there's only one person there. They're going to commit violence to themselves? Well, yeah, but if two people are there and it looks like they settle and you walk away, the big liability becomes on the cop. The cop, yeah, that's the new rule too. The street cop that comes to your house is the one who decides who is going to jail. Not the sergeant, not the watch commander, the cop. That's an awful responsibility. So, this is my report. I'm sticking to it. But just to say this, the cops in Coronado do a great job. Most of them are young now. Most of them are not jaded. They laugh. They understand. They're more ready to say, hey, not that they'll let you get away with shit. Don't get me wrong. But they're more liberal. They're more, no, that's the wrong word. They're more educated. I think educated is a better word. The new cop is like, I've watched a couple of the young guys getting trained by these other young guys, and it's like, the product is like super. Needless to say, our fire department, well funded. We've got a $55 million budget in this city, and we've got the finest. I mean, the finest. The hospital, even a jail is like, you could go on vacation there. Police station, state of the art. Fire department, state of the art. The old folks home, brand new, state of the art. The library, the recreation centers down on the Strand, the parks, everything is just pristine, perfect. Our police department is cool Spanish building with mostly the old guys leaving who should have left a long time ago, and a new breed coming in. And happily to say, this police chief is leaving too. I call him Chucky because he was what shall I say? Let me choose a nice word for Chucky. A phony. He'd give you all this lovely lip service. So we are a straight police department, but we've come to an internal investigation. Chucky already ruled. Thumbs up or thumbs down. So he said a little Caesar, and he's going now. I know of his history and his background. He was a fat kid who was taunted and bullied, and he made sure that he got a position where he got to be. Not punishing people, but it had power over people. He worked his way up to be a police chief, came out of the farm of police chiefs, few weeks in the academy and a little more study, a little more polish, a little more bullshit. And this guy made a big mistake. He dressed up like a Hollywood movie star. He had lipstick, I think, and makeup on. That's the way how Hollywood he looked. And he would walk down the streets all alone, go to the pizza parlor, buy his pizza, so be nice to everybody, smile to everybody. Then he'd come back and he'd jump in his car and he'd pull people over and he'd write them warnings or tickets or whatever. But that's not his job. His job was to pump out good cops like Hamilton and a bunch of other young kids here who are killing it in this town. They don't look jaded, they don't look beat up, they work like dogs for their money, no matter what people say. I wouldn't want the job. They don't take it home with them. They always got a laugh when I see them, especially a lunatic like me. They're just nice to me because they know I'm kind of old and silly. But other cops, off you go. You, Chuck K, and all the other what we call the crusties. They're so craggy and set in their ways that they're mean looking even. We got a good, even our traffic cops, they're cool. There's one big guy, I like him a lot. He's like a human being. He'll tow your ass, don't get me wrong. But they just got a better attitude, you know? They always got a smile on their face, no matter what it is. They try to make you feel better. Other cops, just a few, by the way, are not very nice. They just wake up nasty, and probably their mother-in-law moved back in with them. That's why they like that. But anyway, it's getting a little personal here, but that's the way it goes in Coronado. Captain Pink for the pirate radio station. Tomorrow we begin to paint the pirate. It's called Owl and the Pussycat. It's a beautiful 25-foot racing schooner, and we're going to light it up and paint it up, and it'll be floating on the San Diego Bay till time immemorial, blasting the stones and the doors and all the other great rock and roll. And then we're going to have a Jim Morrison museum in Cancun, and we're going to invite everybody who ever was a fan to come down and see what we've built for them. It's a wonderful place called Ciudad Madera, Wood City. So, this is Elliot Rosewater, Alan Graham, Captain Pink, and a whole host of other personalities in one for the Crystal Ship Podcast. We're at Speckles Park. This was built by the Speckles Sugar mogul. You know, Speckles Sugar. He built this park and a church for his wife, and he built the hotel, a whole bunch of stuff. There you have it. Al Graham for Cape Pixie Radio, the only nuclear-powered radio station now to be a floating pirate radio station on the Coronado Bay. Do-do-do-do.